Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I had a few people hit me up. I wasn't sure whether it was DMs or at mentions in Twitter about what they were calling a new law in Fort Collins, Colorado. And really, it's not a new law, it's a revision in the public code. And I'm going to get to why not only is it very harmful to the public, but it's ridiculous, virtue signaling that's going to cause more harm than good. And in my opinion, it is a continued agenda to normalize the sexualization of children, and in this specific case, small girls. Okay? So let's get to this article really quick, because it's a really quick article, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. So, like I said, really brief. This has already gone into play 5 days ago. Colorado city officials have removed a topless ban from city law that inspired a Free the Nipple lawsuit. So, here's the deal. I'm a guy. Most heterosexual men, like myself, who like women, recognize that breasts are a sexual organ. It's certainly something that catches my eye at times. Don't hurt me for saying that, but any honest person will tell you that. Now, when you have predators out there and you're now removing that ban, if it was just for adults, hey, that's fine. Did it in New York City, not a big deal. No one's getting hurt. I get it. Other societies are a little more open with it. But now we're talking about the public good. And now we're talking about 10-year-olds, okay? 10-year-olds. So anyone over the age of 10, in other words, 11, all of a sudden can be topless. No, whoa. I'm fine with 18. And thank you, Amy Dye, for that super chat. And I think that most people would be. Again, I'm not an authoritarian. Do your thing. But if we can't recognize that, again, the female breast biologically is a sexual organ, that we should not be encouraging young girls, because we live in a bad world sometimes. There are bad people out there, and that's going to be the next part of this video. Because when we look at this, we have a pandemic of predators out there. And I'm not just talking about the predator class, okay? Just in the last week alone, two states, Georgia and Ohio, have had huge busts involving the trafficking of children, okay? And once children are trafficked, once again, what do you think's done with them? They're sold on the market sexually. And to exploit them in a place like Fort Collins, Colorado, would probably be a lot easier if the girls that they traffic at, 13, 14, 15 years old, and then, get out there 16, 17 even, if they could be topless and then pimped out by these people. But I can't even call it pimping because, again, it's the abuse of kids. Man, I hate these auto videos. It kills me. But check this out. We got, again, 24 people in a child sex sting. Let's read this one for you. Sheriff's deputies of Forsyth County, Georgia, have arrested 24 people on child sex trafficking charges after a 4-day operation targeting predators, authorities said. The undercover sting, dubbed Operation Just Cause, led to the arrest of 23 men and 1 woman. The goal of the operation was to arrest those accused of finding children online and then traveling to meet them for sex, officials said. Deputies also targeted predators who were willing to pay to have sex with minors, authorities said. Charges for the 24 people arrested, including violating the Computer or Electronic Pornography and Child Exploitation Prevention Act and trafficking of purposes for labor or sexual servitude. We have 19 to 65-year-olds. Now, here's the thing. You notice they slipped in there the CP? Again, in order to traffic these individuals, a lot of these acts, there are photographs and videos taken. And they are put on the black market for people to see. And we're going to get into that in another moment. So, Ohio. Ohio. Hear about this one? More than 100. This is a couple days ago as well. And of course, you have some pretty, prominent people in society. It's not the dregs of society always, is it? Church leader, ER doctor. Let's get into it. More than 100 people, including a medical doctor and a church youth director, were arrested as part of a massive human trafficking and child sex sting operation based in central Ohio, according to a report. Those arrested, including 24 men, caught when they showed up at an undisclosed location with the intention of meeting a child for sex. This is specifically children. So again, Fort Collins, this is a public code. This is for the public good. I would really encourage you to revise this code to say, free that nipple all you want after the age of 18. Hey, in a perfect world, it wouldn't matter, right? But we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a world where 24 people in Georgia and 100 people in Ohio just this week are being arrested for these charges. Okay? You see that? And again, they put themselves with children in many cases. A former youth director at Redeemers, a court-right church in Columbus. And then you had an emergency room doctor again. You find these people in places they're not supposed to be, right? Not supposed to be. You got to understand, 43 women were arrested for selling sex. They were connected with social services aimed at rehabilitating human trafficking victims. So, guys, child predators absolutely exist. And if you want to check this out, you have this young girl, 17 years old. She's been missing, and now she's showing up on those sex trafficking websites I was telling you about. All right, before we get there, you can see her. That's her name. If you see this video, you happen to check her out. If you know somebody who does, this is an actual victim. 17 years old, gone, kidnapped, and now on these sites. A New Jersey mom, desperately searching for her 17-year-old daughter, is now beside herself after authorities have told her this week that the teen's photo is showing up on sex trafficking websites, according to a new report. So, you can say what you want. We have pornography pictures of my daughter. She looked completely upset and unhappy in these photos. Angelica Scarlett told the situation. She believes she is in danger, being held against her will. She is 17 and looks upset. Can you imagine? And I don't understand how you do in Flick Off. A lot are where they should be in a hole. Well, people don't understand until they're around the worst of the worst in society. How there is this subclass of sociopathic human beings that do look at other people as well beneath them. Okay? And if you don't think you have to be a sociopath to serially abuse children, what else could you be? I mean, that's just one of the demonic things you are. But you don't care about other people. You don't care about what you're doing. That person is a thing. That child is a thing. And it just really boggles my mind how we now live in a society that's putting out shows where prepubescent young boys are being put in drag and dancing in clubs in front of grown men. What the fuck is going on? And again, if you're 18 years old, you're voting, you're an adult, you want to whip those honeys out, not my business. Go for it. You do it. You go, girl. But to make the law as such, or bring the public code revised as such, where it's an 11-year-old girl, I have a big, big issue with that. And if you have a big issue with that, please let people know. Let people know about this. Say, Fort Collins, this is unacceptable. Guys, we're doing 3 to 7 videos a day on various subjects. Obviously, child predators are a big part of this channel, but we're also going to do another Epstein update even later this evening. Even more coming out about Epstein. Did Epstein have an informant inside the police department? Well, with the money and power he had, I would be shocked if he didn't. But the Post is reporting that, among other things. And if you like what I do, again, and you're not part of the Burmese Brigade, make sure that you are subscribed, you're thumbing it up, you're sharing it all over. That's how we're getting the word out. And if you can, 5, 10, 15 bucks over on the GoFundMe means the world to me. There is no Subscribe Star. There is no Patreon. This is how I'm doing it. I love you guys. I will see you all on the flip side.